All right. This is Guillotine Productions. Got an interview today with the lovely Traci Snow, also known as the Viking Woman.
Yes.
Introduce we recently actually had a face-to-face time we're going to talk about, but I wanted her to introduce herself. She does so much great stuff and all the radio stuff, and then we'll talk about our visit when you came out to LA. So you can introduce yourself.
Right. My name is Viking Woman, DJ Viking Woman from Valley Free Radio. I do a dark wave show from 9 to 11 p.m. Eastern Standard Time out of Northampton, Massachusetts. Last month, I happened to have an opportunity to spend some time in LA, and I was lucky enough to hang out with Guion here, and he showed me a little bit of the LA goth scene.
Yeah, the real scene, not the tourist scene. That's what I try to tell people, that that's my claim to fame is if you come out here and tour, if you hang out with me or tour with me or whatever, you'll see like the more cutting edge stuff, because I think Bar Sinister at Borgner's has been going on a long time, and it's
Right.
But we went to some good clubs. So when you first arrived here in LA, I know you told me before you got here that you hadn't been here in 30 years. So when you first
Right.
does any drive talent has changed so much from 30 years?
Well, the first time I came to LA, I was in Compton, and I was going through. I actually left my first husband. He was a douche. And well, I mean, like, you don't get married, like, here's the deal. Like, I got married, and he only married me for a green card. And when that became apparent, I was like, see you later. So, yeah.
Yeah, relationships are hard.
It happens to the best of us. So,
yeah.
But anyway, so I was with my daughter's biological father at the time, and he had a relative in Compton, and we ended up staying there for a little while. But I guess it's because I was in that part of LA that I did not appreciate how wonderful the city really is, because I was stuck in an area that was going through a lot of changes. And so unfortunately, I had to go back to Massachusetts, and I have not been in that part of the West Coast for like 30 years. Now, since I met you and you talked about the goth scene there, because when you talk about the goth scene now and you mention the word LA, people think it just doesn't exist anymore. But that's far from the truth. It just went underground. I think part of it may have to do with COVID. And second, maybe the popularity of the goth scene may have changed to the point where it may be better off being underground than being above ground, if that's the best way I could explain it.
And even like I was saying, Bar Sinister, that club, they have like a strict, they have a dress code, and they really have like we call them normie detectors, but it's really like enforcement or whatever. And they catch, they don't really want like frat boys chasing around goth girls, stuff that, this is not a good scene. That's not what we want the clubs to look like, or anybody really, not just picking on frat boys, but any more normal person going to just because they saw like a meme about a goth girl, or they're fetishizing about goth, or they think that all goth girls it's an easy way to have sex.
They think we're like nasty whip carrying sluts. That's not the case at all. I mean, a lot of us are
that's
college educated. Some of us have graduate or doctor degrees.
We keep it secret. So
yes.
So the place that I knew that when you were coming. So the club that I chose, the venue was actually called the Lash in downtown. Yes. And the club was called Crule Intentions. The two DJs were DJ Suckforth and Sulkforth. Sulkforth. Yeah, it's hard for me to say.
Sulkforth.
Hey, Molly Crule, which the event's named after, Crule Intentions.
Right.
So when we got to the Lash, I mean, it was, there's all this graffiti art, I remember, and like, what were your impressions of just the whole area in general?
Well, when we drove into LA, you picked me up where I was staying at my friend's house, and as we were getting closer and closer to the downtown area, I've noticed that parts of it has been renovated, and parts of it is just going through the transition, and parts of it is getting torn down. I mean, I also seen the infamous homeless camps, of course, but I mean, we have them here too, so no biggie. But It's just there's more of them. But I kind of like the grittiness of downtown LA. It reminds me a lot of New York City during the 70s, 80s, and early 90s before New York City got cleaned up.
Yeah.
And I kind of like that vibe because you kind of sense that the Phoenix is ready to rise, but it hasn't risen yet. And that's the kind of vibe I'm getting of LA.
Yeah. I'm hoping. I mean, LA is.
It will happen. It will happen. It's just not right now.
Something has to happen. I mean, and not just in LA, but nationwide with all the, like you're saying, homeless camps everywhere and all this. They got to have some great reset or something, I think. But so this club, I chose the Lash. We get there. So there was like a front room when we were first coming in. We didn't have any problems getting in. Luckily, we didn't get into any dress code violations or anything, or have any ID problems. Because sometimes the LA clubs are picky about like out of state IDs or something. They don't, they think they're fake or whatever. But so you don't have any problems. So that was good. The front room though, let's see how you remember it, because I remember the music wasn't what you were expecting. It wasn't goth or dark wave or.
No, it was they're playing retro 80s and early 90s music, which kind of took me back to my teen years. But I was like looking at you, was like, I thought we're going to a goth club, but he's like, you're like, no, we got to go to the back room.
Yeah,
we got to go upstairs.
Yeah, I mean, I could have danced to the front room too if I wanted to change, but the back was just it was really good back there. So yeah, so you go down kind of this insanity hall, I call it, right? Like a long, almost reminds you of it's all white tiled hall. So it reminds you of a mental hospital like from the 60s. One Flew Over the Cuckoo's Nest, Doesn't it know where the bathrooms are? It's like you got to go through because it's white tiled and it's kind of long. So then we go into the room. That's our room, is the goth room in the back,
Right. I never think of it. You think of the weirdest things. That's so cool.
Doesn't it have that vibe? Yeah. I mean, I remember
I was
what it looked like, but
Yeah, that's not the first thing I thought, but
yeah. Well, my mind just I do think of weird things.
Okay.
So anyway, back, and then you pretty much hear industrial goth.
Right.
First, the male DJ was playing first.
Yes.
We went in, and so I think the music, it was industrial goth. The mix was good. It was like not goth in the sense where they're playing Susie and the Banshees and stuff like that. I don't think they went through the thing where they played like the classic, like any of that kind of stuff. Was like
Here's more like Ministry. You're thinking of like I can't remember some of the names of the bands that he played, but it was a good mix. I mean, think of the music like Ministry, think of KMFDM, think of Frontline Assembly for earlier stuff, but modernized. And that's the kind of music he was playing. I mean, if I got to see his set list, I wouldn't be surprised I played some of that music on my radio show.
Oh, yeah. Sounds like,
my memory's terrible.
Yeah, it sounds exactly like stuff that listen to your show. So then when we get in there, I don't know. Well, I told the DJs before that to expect, that you were coming. They didn't come right up to us or anything, because I mean in LA
they're working.
And DJs, I don't know. Even in every goth club, I don't really go up and say hello to people, even if I've talked to them last week. It's just a thing. I don't know. We kind of got this, just this natural thing of a little bit of an aversion, and a little bit of space or whatever, and don't want to take up people's space, especially when DJs are kind of like working or they're doing. But the female DJ was dancing with us most of the night.
Oh, she danced with us before she started her set, which was really nice. She's a sweetheart. I absolutely adore her.
Yeah, I'm definitely trying to get them on the show. It's just that they're it's hard to reach on Instagram. They probably think I'm just like some random person that they don't remember, or who knows. I gotta like maybe go see them in person or
right.
I don't know. Facebook is easier sometimes to get in touch with people, to just so they don't know you're just like a random fan or.
Oh no, I mean even with a fan, by the time we started talking to her and like her set was over, it's 2:00 in the morning. She was tired.
Yeah.
She's probably needs to get her stuff put together before she goes home. It's no big deal. It's just you have to catch these people before everything starts. Yeah. And of course you have to sit in your car and have that one or two drinks before you go in the club.
Yeah. Yeah. So
you're like a high school student. Shame on you.
Yeah. Hey, hey, those drinks are expensive, you know. But
I
I mean,
know.
expensive drinks because I mean we had you know, like all these you know, not all, like you know, I think it was two guys that wanted to buy us drinks. One guy kept trying to like, it's like he was trying to get us both drunk or something, and then he kept on asking permission to dance with you. I don't know, it felt like he was, it was almost like it was a fetish thing with him or something, like he was you know, asking permission, and he was getting involved with it with some kind of like thing, or I don't know. But he did buy. I think I let him buy us a round of drinks, or we let him buy us a round of drinks.
Right.
But I walked with them there because you know when people are bring the drinks, they can just put something on their finger, or they can try to put something in the drinks, obviously on the low. But so I had to have my eyes right there, you know, monitor the whole thing. So we had a few drinks. I think everybody wanted to dance with us. You know, we were hugely popular. It felt like, you know, it was really a big. I mean, I'm sure it's for both of us a big boost of confidence and everything. The whole night was really, you know, was really a great experience for me, like magical. You know, it helped me boost my confidence, and I think you know, hopefully we could do something like that again. But when you took to the dance floor, you just took right away to just
That's right.
getting in the mode, and you felt right at home. You were telling me, right?
Mm-hmm. I had fun. Well, back at home when I used to go to goth nights out here in Northampton, that's what I would do. I would spend most of my time on the dance floor, and I would just dance the night away.
Yeah.
It's and I mean, of course, I had a limited budget, so I didn't really drink. I didn't smoke back then, so it's I don't know. It's like I go on a dance floor, and it's like, you know, I have like my hand movements, my gestures. Um, you know, I try to keep it. I try to make it as magical as possible for myself and for the people that are around me. Because dancing, I mean, you're moving all the energy in your chakras,
Mm-hmm.
if that makes sense.
Yeah.
And I mean, you can feel it. I mean, if you're in tune with your body, I mean, you can feel that energy flowing up and down your body. You know, through
Mm-hmm.
your spine, through your head, all these, and all your chakra points. And it's kind of fun when you can take that energy, bundles of energy, and just like move it up and down, and then you're like have it like in your hand, and you're rolling your hand, and you can throw it at somebody, and sometimes they will feel it. So it's fun. I
Yeah. You were transferring energy to other people when you're dancing, and you know, kind of like just I could feel it, and it was,
right.
I don't know if you remember this part too. It was interesting because the other interviews that we've done, and we've talked about this a lot, is of Native American spirituality, you know, and then
Mm-hmm.
there was like a Native American guy there that was like hanging out and dancing with us some when we were talking to. Remember that guy?
Right.
So that was like an interesting, like, whoa, you know. It's, I mean, not to say, you know, uh, it's uncommon for somebody to be talking, you know, about that and stuff. You know, a lot of people are Mexican here or whatever, but
Right.
which is kind of, you know, that's kind of native, I guess, or whatever. But I mean, he was specifically talking about things that we knew and stuff, and that was really an interesting, like, you know, well, synchronicity, as I
Yeah.
guess you call it,
There
right?
was a lot of synchronicity that
Yeah.
night.
Yeah.
A lot of synchronicity.
Yeah. So basically, yeah, I think we had a few drinks. We didn't have to buy. I don't know if we had to buy them or not. But anyway,
We bought the first round for ourselves.
maybe that was because I was like a high school student getting started in the car. But
No, I mean, you bought me this big, large White Claw, and I'm like, I wish you didn't, because I had to like, I have to tell people like I'm a 2 beer Sally here.
Yeah.
I can't, because once I start drinking more, like my body reacts poorly. For example, like if anybody offers me like opiates or anything, it's like I can't take it because my body like literally rejects it. I can't do it. Maybe that's just me. Maybe because of my Slavic genetics.
Yeah. Well, you know, I mean, because I was in my chemical dependency training, it was saying, you know, that our bodies are, you know, it's the neurotransmitters that get moved around in our bodies. The drugs do that too. So, and we have this whole chemical set up in our bodies here. So when you take these chemicals, like you know, like the people with ADHD, when they take speed, it slows them down and makes them concentrate and focus. And when they take nothing, they're on speed, you know. So
Right.
like so you know, different drugs affect people differently. You know, some people say that, you know, that they're great whenever they get a headache and they take a Norco or whatever. Well, you can't even get that anymore because the opioid crisis, really. But
Right.
I mean, they would say that wouldn't be a problem at all. And some people would say they take one and they get sick. They literally feel like they're nauseous, you know, just from.
I'm one of them.
You know, everybody's chemicals. It's all connected. But so
Yes.
yeah. I mean, overall, it wasn't that bad. I waited long enough before I drove for sure, but
Of course.
yeah, we waited and made sure that everything.
Anymore, I would have taken an Uber home.
Yeah. Or I could have let you drive, but if it came down to it, but at the end it was fine. Yeah, but I had to wait a little bit longer than usual because I drank a little bit.
Oh, I was fine once we left the club because I was sober by then.
Yeah. So at the end, there was no major problems or anything. Both had a great time.
And we got the chance to talk to some of the people that attended the event, and a lot of them were very chill. They wanted to get to know me a little bit better, and there was that one kid that looks like Richard Ramirez that you picked on. That was nice of you. You look like the serial killer. I'm like, no.
What's so funny? I came up and I told him that, right? I go, yeah. Did anybody ever say you look like Richard Ramirez? And then it was kind of sad because he just got this real sad look on his face. He goes, parents say that all the time. That's what his mom would tell him when he was bad as a kid. You're little Richard Ramirez.
You're gonna give him a complex. Stop it.
But yeah, that guy was great. I mean, we just had a great time overall. Hopefully, we could do that again. I can bring more people, and mostly, I don't have any problems in clubs. A couple of times there was in comparison to our great experience. There's like a kind of a funny story. I'll just tell real briefly. It's right. I was gonna talk to somebody else, another content creator, kind of like like us, but she wasn't flying in. She's just locally here, right? So I was like, yeah, let's go out. Let's go to the dance clubs. Let's go to the goth club. And I assume we're gonna go dancing at goth club. So she's like, yeah, pick me. And we talked to them so I could pick her up. So it was raining that night, so she had this like big overcoat, this big like trench coat thing, and like. So I didn't even notice what else she was wearing. I just trusted under the whatever. She just she was like okay because I just how it was. So we tried to go to one of these goth clubs.
Right.
Those normie detectors like right away. I didn't even notice. They flashed the light on her. They're like no. She was wearing like these ratty like brown sweatpants. And like some girls they try to like pull up like they'll have like a thong or like, and she had like these granny panties that were all bunched up around the top of her sweatpants, and they were just like so if it can't get worse than that, right? I'm already like kind of mortified.
Like she just got out of a dumpster. What the hell?
Starts arguing with the normie detector. She starts arguing with the dress code policy people, right? She's like, I don't like dress codes. And what about what you're wearing? And this and that and the other. And I'm like, just stop arguing. Stop arguing. They're not gonna let you in with those sweatpants. So
LA is a wonderful city.
And I didn't have a dress code. And it still went horrible though, because and this is another good thing, we talked and bonded before we went in and made sure that, where everybody was with their headspace and everything. So I guess, even though I was just going with her, I was thinking we're just getting to know each other, make content together or something, maybe like that. It's like, I guess she was trying to get over this really bad ex. And so like I was trying to dance in my club and have fun.
Would they let her in?
No, they let her in the other club. The other one was like they didn't care. They didn't even know.
Okay, so they let her in another club. Yeah, so obviously not as classy.
I call it like that. There's like more the Hollywood scene thing.
Yep.
And then there's but the one that we went to probably she wouldn't have been able to get into the Lash. I don't think whatever she was wearing.
She wouldn't.
I don't know. Thinking anyway, but I guess what it came down to was she was dressed like that because she was trying to get over this bad ex. So then she goes into this whole thing of running to the bathroom to talk to the ex and she's supposed to be kind of like dancing with me, and she's like in the corner like crying. So it's like I tried so many times to just end it and send her, but in the end, I kind of got my heartstrings pulled and all that. You got suckered into it a little bit too much, and it just felt really bad.
You fell in love with Bag Lady? What's wrong with you? Stop it.
She was like, she literally wanted to come to my place just so I could comfort her. She said she wanted to just cuddle. And then as soon as she got here, she ran into my bathroom and started crying on her phone with her ex.
What kind of drugs was she on? I mean, that's just.
And then she was in there for like an hour. I was like knocking at the door saying, "You're making this weird. I mean, can you just go home, or let me take you where I picked you up, or I go, better yet, why don't you have this guy pick you up?" Right? And she actually did. She left, and it was like 3 a.m, raining, and she left with her trench coat and all that, like just wandering around at 3. I felt bad, but what? I can't kidnap her, you know. I don't think this is a good idea.
You're not helping her. Let her go.
I quit and laid down. Then I got up because I felt responsible because she'd been drinking, and I after like I texted her, she didn't answer. So then after like I laid down for like 30 minutes, I went and drove around the block. It was like by that time it was almost 4 a.m.
Right.
Drove around my block 3 or 4 times to make sure she wasn't like crying on a corner or something. And she was really gone. So I guess she did get somebody to pick her up at 3 a.m. from some other guy's house. I was like,
oh my gosh.
Told her, I go, let me at least drop you off at a coffee shop so you can meet this guy. Cause that's really not kind of a classy thing with the you know, having her pick you up at another guy's house you're kind of on a date with.
Right.
So it's like that's how.
Did you meet her at the club, or was this a prearranged?
What I bring up is everything is even though it was dancing and all that stuff, everything was professional, and we kept it like really, you know,
right.
Good like that, you know, because something like that. I look for those red flags now. If I see somebody talking about something like that, I just, you know.
I could respect like breakups and stuff, or like losing a trusted friend or something. But yeah. I mean, I wouldn't even bother wasting my time clubbing if I was like that upset. It's like, my goodness, it's like, what's the point? You might as well just stay at home and watch Netflix and cry and call the boy.
I mean, sorry for them, because I think she was thinking that if she went out, you know, either with another guy or with I was almost going to bring a group of people too, but they just couldn't make it. So it wasn't even going to be, you know, I think if she was thinking if she went out dancing, she would forget about this other thing. But then, you know, turn your phone off, right? I mean, don't start getting texts from him and crying in the bathroom about it.
Did you see me on the phone much at all?
Yeah. No, that's the thing too.
No, that's the thing.
I mean, you took the videos, and I mean, I always use my phones just for taking media, you know, when we clubs and stuff. But I mean, yeah. So in the contrast, I mean, it was beautiful. We didn't have any problems. There wasn't any. Even though that one guy, I don't know. Do you think that one guy was a little creepy that was asking us to buy drinks, or was he just harmless?
No, I mean, we ended up slam dancing later on.
Yeah.
Like pogo hopping, you know, old school, like 80s style slam dancing, pogo hopping, and he knocked me over. It was great. He picked me up. I mean, at least he was a gentleman, but it was fun. Like all the young kids didn't know what the hell we were doing.
Weird vibes or creepy stuff or any of that, just kind of disturbance like I've had, like I was talking about some of the previous outings. But
the way I look at it is, I mean, I'm just gonna let people know my age. I'm 52 right now, and I just have, I mean, for a long time, and for a lot of people, I am just taking life by the horns, and I'm just going to try and enjoy as much as possible, because I don't know how many more years I have left on this planet.
Yeah. I got 1 year on you, so I'm 53. So
right. So with like myself, I mean, I'm married, so it's like I had to try to explain to my husband, it's like, listen, I'm going there for the interviews. I'm going there for the experience. I'm going to be talking about it on my radio show, because a lot of people don't think that the goth scene is alive and well. It is alive and well. It's alive and well in LA. It's just, you have to find it. You have to seek it, or they'll talk to you, or they'll watch my video, later on, and I mean, the best way to plug it is like after this video, just put down the links afterwards, to that specific club and to the names of the disc jockeys that were there, their Instagram pages, and that way people can follow up on it, because otherwise
I'll ask if they want to.
I'll just
tag them. I'll put this on Instagram and tag them
right.
If I have to put in different parts. But it was a great experience. You got to experience the goth scene, and we came away great. No major issues at all. Is there anything, any other impressions at the end? That you
Hey,
had?
I had so much fun, like throwing that energy into anybody who was receptive to their third eye. It was just so much fun.
Yeah,
I it's fun. I felt like a little kid. I mean, I don't want to say
yeah,
like like a kid, but it's like I felt like a
yeah,
teenager that night.
yeah. But I
You know,
mean, that's the thing. That it was good to that the way we were together combined because we both have a very young energy, even
right,
though we're in our early 50s and we're both around the same age, but
right.
we both have a really young energy. Everybody always thinks either on the phone or whatever, or they just are like, yeah, you like always act like you're like 23 or something like that. You don't act like a
Well,
50.
we're running on adrenaline. I sometimes have surprised myself. Although when you met me, you probably remember that I was still getting over with losing one of my old co-hosts on my radio show.
Yeah,
I mean, finally, after doing a few things, I was able to get some closure on it because it was kind of traumatic for me because he was like not only just a co-host, but he was like actually one of my closest friends for a long time.
yeah,
So losing that and losing kind of like a person who was kind of like a close brother I mean, it's like losing like a brother or a cousin that you can confide with, and I hate to say this, but mental illness is a real thing, and I don't want to talk too much about my co-host personal problems because it's out of respect, but mental illness can make people do some really stupid and foolish things, no matter how smart they are, and that's just a word of warning to anybody out there that sometimes these people go off the deep end and there's not much you can do about it until they get the help that they need because
yeah,
I couldn't do anything about it. I mean, I did try to get this person help,
yeah,
trying to get into rehab, but the VA hospital that I tried taking him to was a lot more. It wasn't the same VA hospital that people would tell that was like maybe 2 years ago or before COVID.
yeah, yeah.
Things have changed and not for the better. So it's unfortunate
A lot
because
of friends
yeah,
too. A lot of the people that used to go out dancing died during COVID. I don't know if it was from COVID or always or a lot of people. There's COVID related deaths that were just because things slowed down and people got depressed and people when they get depressed they get other illnesses on top of whatever COVID and all that and it's
you're
like
talking about the suicides
yeah,
during COVID. Oh, that was real.
yeah,
There was
a lot too. Yeah, that was
people like me. I know how to cope.
mhm.
And I'm actually kind of lucky because I live in Western Massachusetts. So I mean, like my property that I live on, it's like I walk into woods. It's like, what government official is going to tell me, like, yeah, go stay in your house, like
Yeah,
we
yeah,
got we're watching you kind of big brotherish crap.
yeah, yeah.
No, it's like I
Well,
can just
that's
walk.
I get
I mean,
that vibe in LA all the time. So that's why I'm thinking of eventually, even though I've been here all my life, of getting out of LA. But I don't know. I'd have to find the right. I think I just want to get a motorhome for a while and drive around. Like I could visit you. I could visit my friends in Oregon. I could visit. I could visit my brother in Georgia.
well,
Maybe.
but just be mindful that when you do get something like that, make sure you have enough budget for gas money.
Yeah. No, I know. Yeah. Yeah. Yeah.
Because
Well, I mean, I'd have to try. I'd have to sell all my stuff and cash out of LA, and we'll see. Hopefully, it'll get me something halfway decent. I don't know. But
yeah, yeah,
so
I guess
I want. I
yeah.
wanted
Go ahead.
in the end, is there any projects you want to plug, talk about, upcoming things on your show,
Um,
some recordings you're gonna put?
Dark my show Dark Wave on Valley Free Radio. Valley Free Radio is a nonprofit all volunteer radio station in Northampton, Massachusetts. We go by the call letters WXOJ. It was actually one of the original call letters of one of the first radio stations that was open for broadcasting out of New Jersey years and years ago. Um, my show is Dark Wave. I am changing the format. It used to be exclusively a music show. I didn't even do interviews back then. But like after I lost my co-host, I realized that my show could go in a different direction. I kind of been wasting my time having somebody that um, just didn't see eye to eye what like my vision was. So
Yeah.
now I have like so far under my this past month and a half, I was able to have interviews with Aesthetic Perfection. Um, Yeah, Daniel Graves, yeah, wonderful person. And I also interviewed Alex from what was the name of the band? Oh God, I should not have forgotten the name of it. It's Then Comes Silence out of Sweden. That's a really good death rock band,
Yeah,
which
yeah.
I highly recommend checking out. The music videos are
Yeah.
great.
I've been watching your old shows. You've been posting them, and yeah, you got a lot of good interview. I mean, a lot of the music was more than, but the interviews. I'm seeing that you're getting more, and I think that's the direction that I'm going into. I was doing the solo videos, but I like to do interviews in the podcast, and then like I said, we could get I got this. I think on this service I can get like 5 different screens. So if we do
Mhm.
multiple, and that would be awesome. Like I mentioned, maybe if we get one of those DJs, if they want to. I think it's just a matter of them figuring out that I really got a show, and like they'd want to be on it. It's just they probably get so much mail or whatever. They just I haven't caught them at the right time or whatever.
Well, it's you got like you said, sometimes when they're on tour or something, sometimes you have to contact directly whoever is their manager, and
Yeah,
the manager will have to arrange the time for the interview. That's pretty
yeah.
much it. I don't know who is texting me. I am so sorry.
I don't know.
It's all right. I gotta put it in silence.
We're about to wrap up anyway. I think we covered everything, and I
No,
don't know.
I'm just glad Goth is not dead. I mean, the Goth is not dead, which is great. Um,
Yeah.
like if you want to tune into what's
The music that they were playing too is it's a because here's the thing about goth DJs too that I should mention is here's another reputation and a thing that like I don't really like about the goth scene necessarily is when you talk about a goth DJ, a lot of times they just like play like these best of like favorite hits things. Like you got a Susie and the Banshee, like Spellbound. You're gonna have like The Cure, Bauhaus. I
but
mean,
you
so it's the same band, same songs
yeah,
every, and it's not that's not really but where we went that was new music, new
right.
mix. It was new stuff, because I mean, I mean, somebody like me and you, how many times have we heard Spellbound? I mean, probably, a million times, probably, right? Because
Of course.
I've been listening to that since I came out when I was like 14 or 15, right? But it was Susie and the Banshees album. So like, I heard that a million times. I still dance to it. I still love the song, but so that's why they say goth is dead, because people don't want to go to those DJs necessarily. They don't want to go to like a goth club because that implies it's going to be a goth greatest hits, which is like, like I said, Bela Lugosi's dead, blah, 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 just
Maybe.
which, it's almost just like a playlist, that's part of the reason I think that people use different ways of describing what the goth scene is, like industrial, or like I just went to Das Bunker on Friday.
Right.
Das Bunker is, the music they play there, it's like techno, and I mean, it's hard to describe, but industrial techno, noise, there's all kinds of stuff mixed in, and that's that's why I think why a lot of the thing about the goth is dead, the goth club is dead, is because when I first started going out again in 2018, I would go to like goth clubs, because and if we went to Bar Sinister, you would have got that too, where you would have seen that they got like this greatest hits list, and they got to play like Bela Lugosi's dead, they got to play Love and
Right.
Rockets, they got to play Susie and the Banshees,
Maybe.
and so people didn't, only normies really wanted to go to goth clubs, because people like us had heard that music so long that we just might as well play
I
iPhone home or
don't
whatever.
see that in some of the places that you're talking about, because like when I pay attention to the Florida scene also outside of Orlando,
Yeah.
and it all depends on the DJ. Like a lot of times the DJ will advertise, this is what my play set's going to be like. So I mean, maybe it's true for maybe Das Bunker. I mean, I haven't been there, so I wouldn't know. But I mean, like when we went to the Lash, they didn't.
Yeah, I mean, it's amazing. I mean, this place, it's like this huge warehouse. They got like 4 floors, and like it's just, oh man, it's just and every room. I mean, the rooms and the people we know, and it was just amazing. It's like it's kind of like the LA version of like, I don't know, like Burning Man or something, but they got that's like the club version, because everybody comes and there's all these different rooms, and it's like all this different stuff. So it's just yeah, it's an awesome. Das Bunker would be awesome. Yeah, we in the future you should plan a trip to when and correlate with Das Bunker if possible. You know, because
Right. Oh, I hope.
to come.
Well, I hope I can do it next month. I mean, I'm just looking in prices for flight tickets to LA, but it's not going to be the great prices that I found the last time I flew in, though.
Yeah.
But then again, like if the weather is crap, you know, I might luck out.
It's been raining here for the last 4 days. Yeah,
You guys need it.
Well, yeah, we do. But there's actually flood warnings now, and I think like Santa Cruz got a flash flood that like messed up part of its boardwalk or something. So it's like now I mean, the rain is seriously causing floods. They flood warning here in Long Beach. So maybe check on your friends. I don't know.
I have.
It's okay here, but it is you know, my chihuahuas almost had a dog paddle to the to the door. So anyway, all right, this is great. Great recap, and I hope we continue to make videos. You know, anytime you want to come on and do a video about something else, we'll come up with some other thing, or I'll go on your show. You're gonna actually be playing like recordings for a while.
What happened to you?
Live. Oh.
You just froze there for a second.
The video, yeah. The video.
Right. So let me plug my show. I do my show is Dark Wave on Valley Free Radio. You can go to www.valleyfreeradio.org. Like I've said earlier in this podcast, my show starts at 9 p.m. and it continues until 11 p.m. Eastern Standard Time, East Coast time. And it's on Thursday nights. So check it out. Like I said, I do more than just play, you know, Batcave, goth, death rock music.
Yeah.
I now do interviews with bands, and I also have been plugging interviews from Dark Sorcery, Alfredo's channel. So
that's great that you guys melded. I saw that was great. So
well, it's important, and this is one thing people keep forgetting is that one reason people gravitate towards like the goth scene is that there's also that mysterious occult undertones that accompany the scene. People forget that a lot of magicians, chaos magicians, people who are studying white light, black light, whatever in magic, and of course when you go to goth night, sometimes you'll meet somebody who's doing cosplay there, or if you're lucky, you know, they might have a whipping post and you might watch people getting flogged.
They're in the occult. I mean, most people are into the occult. Out here, you know, in LA too, they have what is the video affecting? Out here in LA, they people do a lot of like neuro-linguistic programming. I mean, kind of like this. It's really not even magic. It's more of like a hypnotism or psychological tricks. You know, like Scientology type stuff. So people do around our scenes a lot. You know, but then you know, there's this straight up. You know, just when people usually ask, "Are you religious?" in the goth scene, they usually mean like if it's like Thelema or like Church of Satan or if you
Wicca, whatever.
Wicca or witchcraft, or they don't usually mean, you know. But I mean, you know, but myself, I consider myself a Gnostic Christian, which is kind of the same as a witch. But I mean, but yeah, there's a lot of the spirituality. I love how you're bringing in that spirituality like that. And you know, that's where I want my shows to merge too, is, you know, to get the culture and the music and the occult and merge them, you know, and not just do I just mostly do the occult stuff with Alfredo, because he's been doing he's got his own thing, and so I'm doing mine just more on the music and stuff, but I heard everything, you know. So it's been great having you. Yeah, we should wrap up. I hope I see you again out here.
You will.
Let me know. We'll coordinate, and you know, thanks for being on anytime.
No problem.
Your shows, I'll put all the links in that thing there. So signing off.